So we're gathered here today because it's time for the August eBay Standard Envelope Analysis, the scans. I do it every month. I go through and I grab 100 random mailings from my August paid and shipped to see if they hit the scans. And we're going to get in more detail with the chart here in a second. But eBay was under 90% in 3 of the scans areas that I monitor. They only had 1 that was 90% or above for the month of August. There was something going on in August. The week of August 11th, I've refunded 4 people this month. Just one yesterday, the guy bought a postcard and he wanted to know if I had it back, and I said no. And he said he hasn't received it. It's been over 2.5 weeks. The only time I check tracking is when someone has an issue or they contact me. I don't go and look at all that. I figure I'm not going to poke the bear, ask them if they got it because the tracking doesn't say that. You're just asking for problems. So I went and there was no tracking, no scans at all. Just it says label created, that was it. So I refunded him and I said, hey, if it does show up, just go ahead and keep it. It wasn't a real expensive card. He comes back and says, I didn't want a refund, I want the postcard. What do you know about it? I'm saying, whoa. I refund him because there was no scans. And sometimes they do end up showing up or whatever. But he thought I knew more about the post office than I was telling him, and I said, no, I just look at the tracking like you do. And that was the end of the conversation. I wasn't going to reply anymore. He got his money. I told him why, and that's it. End the conversation. Don't drag it out forever. So I think he sent a reply, but I didn't read it. I was done. He got what he wanted. He gets the card. He's been told what he needs to do and stuff like that. I don't have any more information. But I had 4 refunds from that week. The week of August 11th, this month. And I'm not worried about it. They're lower, $4 to $8 cards, but I have eBay insurance. I have a video about eBay standard insurance. If it says, the customer says it didn't show up, just put a claim in and see if you get your money back. Last year I got about $70 back. But this was, I only had 1 or 2 refunds going in this month. And now I got 4 this month, so I'm up to 6 for the year. That's not bad for the number of cards I did, but I wasn't used to that. It wasn't the norm. So hopefully it doesn't continue. But when the scans don't occur, if it goes under the dotted line, as you'll see here in a minute, the 90%, I feel it causes us more work. The goal should always be 100%. They should be programmed to do what they're due. So there's something going on somewhere. I had 7 no scans for August. I mean, no scans at all. It's going to get a scan somewhere in one of these post office distribution centers, I feel. And when I look at that, all these different buildings, all these different machines, all these different things that are spaced out, they're all not at the same time going to have the same issue. It's how I feel. So the common point is eBay. So maybe they're sending the information and eBay's not populated, but it's all speculation. So I think there's something going on in the systems this month. This is not a normal month. Now, to understand how this works, I put a small clip together, and I've been using it every video. It helps the people that haven't seen it before. In a nutshell, how the data is sent back and forth. It's just very, very high level. It does have Etsy still in the clip, so that when I put the clip together, I was selling on Etsy, and Etsy does have letter tracking like eBay Standard Envelope. It's not something eBay made up. This is an option that the post office has. Letter Track's used it for years. Macari's now using it. It's just a barcode that helps them track. It's not like package handling, where you need an acceptance scan. You just need a scan somewhere in the system with eBay Standard Envelope. I'm going to go ahead and run this clip, and I'll be right back. Here we go. Here is a slide I'm going to bring up on the big screen. This is just the process in my head on there. Not real detailed, layman terms. I don't know how everything works with this. I can speculate from my IT background, my technical background, but there are so many different ways to do it. But in a nutshell, this should explain to anybody how it works. So the first box there is you got eBay and Etsy platform. They're connected across multiple data centers and stuff like that. They're not in the same one. That's why it's got the dotted line there. They're 2 separate companies, 2 separate platforms, 2 separate programs, applications, and stuff like that. They're not shared. But I just put them in a box to make it easier. When someone buys a postcard from either eBay or Etsy, it goes to the post office. The post office then sends data to eBay or Etsy in some way, format, a file, web services, some integration is going to go up and going to come down Either eBay and Etsy picks it up or directly goes into those platforms if they have shared access. So that's your scans. When it hits the post office, it goes back and forth into the tracking on eBay and Etsy. If everything is successful with the delivery, and then you got a happy customer like at the end here. Even though the scans are not happening, most of the time the customer gets the card and they're happy. That's how it works. Very simple. A lot of moving pieces. Could be a few things I didn't think of in there, but it's just basically in my head how it works. What's breaking down? Should be 100%. Here's the details. This is the chart right here. I track 100 random mailings from my paid and shipped in eBay. I go down and just pick 100 throughout the month of August. Now the different columns at the top here, I track the state. I want to see if there's any problems with the state or anything like that. If I have any questions, I keep that data as well. And that's the destination state, not where I shipped it from. And then, so the label there is my control. I create the labels, everything. So that's 100%, 100 out of 100, 100%. I know that. The origin scan is your first distribution center where it should be scanned. So if I dropped it at the post office today, tonight it should be scanned through the machines because they're the only ones that can scan it. If you ask your carrier or bring this to the post office, they're not going to be able to scan it. If you go ask them about one of these, they're not going to be able to do anything. It's all done at the sorting centers. So origin scan is your first hop. The destination scan is after that. It goes out in destination, tells the customer and the buyer it's moving. So I look for a destination scan somewhere in the tracking. Then I look at out for delivery. Now I put delivery there just to shorten the header, but that's out for delivery. So one of the last sorting centers it'll be out for delivery. And then the all-important delivered scan. When it says delivered in eBay standard envelope, it doesn't mean it's at the house. It means it hit the last sorting center before it's delivered. Could be 2 to 3 days later that it goes, is what I tell people. I have a little blurb that I'd use in this video here. Where's my postcard? If you watch that video, I think I go through and I revisit some of the eBay standard envelope, and I have a little how I track all that and why it causes more work. Then when the scans and stuff happen, it should populate from the post office to eBay and then into tracking. Sometimes it doesn't have that, and your stats on your eBay screen will not be correct, but they will true up over time. Now let's go to the bottom here for the stats. Origin scans, first hop, 82%. They missed 18 at my Champaign distribution center. Goal's 100. Anything under 90 causes more work. Destination, 81% of the 100 mailings had a destination scan. Missed 19. Out for delivery, 90%. The only one that was at 90%, they missed 10. And then all important delivery scan, they missed 11, 89%. So at the end of the run, they did better than in the beginning. So I'm not for sure what's going on. Had 7 no scans this month. No scans at all that I picked. That hasn't been like that for over a year. I don't think I've had that many. And the last column is the average days for the post office is 5 across the board. We had a couple 6 and 7s in there, but nothing major. Nothing that's alarming. And how I track that is the date I made the label to the date it says delivered plus 1 day. So you can add any days you want to it. I just did it down the board 1 day. I had to give them the benefit for that. So if it said 4 days, I add 1, make it 5. Here's how I did it. You can add any number you want to it. But here's a running chart that I did for eBay. If you notice throughout there, in April they had a little dip in the origins and some of the other things that are kind of trending below the 90%. Then they went back up, and the delivered kind of stayed up there this month and stuff, but it's starting to dip back down. But the other two, destination origin, went down. So they're below the dotted line. They're trending below. And that's causing us more work for something that should work. And now, eBay standard envelope is not as robust as package tracking, but they still should be above that dotted line. 100% is the goal, but they should still be able to get 90, 95%. Then here's the chart for the post office for the year to date. They had a little bump in March, went up to 6 days, but they've been steady 5 days average for 100 mailings that I grab. Not too bad. But remember, if you refund somebody and they say they didn't get it and you use eBay standard envelope, there's this insurance with it. This video will walk you through how to fill out that claim. It's simple. You just need a few things, and with eBay keeping all that information now past 90 days for you, it's a piece of cake. But watch that video. Last year I got about $70 back. So when I refunded these people, I wasn't worried. I just keep a track. You just got to track it because you can't put it in for 30 days. You have to be for 90, and it'll go. I'm going to continue to keep tracking this the rest of the year. I've been debating if I want to do it next year every month, but if I have another month like August, I definitely will be, just for my own benefit, and I'll share with you guys what I find. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you can see when I put these videos out every month, and I'll catch you on the next one. Here's some fish. Bye.